Hi everybody and welcome back to my backyard once again. Today I have a super cool project in mind because you see this is a portable Tesla coil I got from AliExpress. And if I press on the trigger it shoots 15 centimeter arcs. You can touch it, it's not painful, you can feel the sting, also the smell. And I'm very curious to know what it does to electronics, especially those pieces of equipment that are placed way up on poles. And to reach those, I will need to put this on a drone and figure out how to remote fire it. Also, all the drones I have are quite small, so I will need to design and print something bigger. And to achieve that, I'm gonna use the sponsor of today's video, Anycubic, with their new Kobra S1 Max 3D printer. I have been using my old Ender 3 printer for many years now. It did its job, but it was feeling a little bit limited lately, especially with the new technologies coming out. Because I wasn't able to print engineering filaments, the bed is a little bit small, and the printer is not very fast. Also, it's not enclosed, so you are prone to warping on big projects. And to print bigger, stronger drones, I needed an upgrade. So thank you, Anycubic, for this machine. In order to make this work, we need to solve two main issues. The first of all is how to make it airborne, because this gun is 700 grams, it's quite heavy, so we will need a little bit of power. And the second issue is how do I activate it once it's flying on a drone, because I cannot be there pressing the trigger, so we'll need to find a solution for that. I was looking into my old stuff and I found this Axis Flying Cinewoop, which seems very nicely fit to make this fly, because it has 3.5 inches propellers, 6S power, and quite big motors. They should be able to push 1 kilo each, and they theoretically should lift 700 grams, no problem. And the drone is gonna look something like this, with the Tesla coil on top. And most probably I'm gonna put the battery on the bottom. Let's fire up Fusion 360 and design this drone. First of all, I will need to model a rough sketch of the Tesla coil. Let's sketch a very simple frame with the propellers outside of the Tesla coil area. And already it looks like a drone. Let's make the motor mount with the... Perfect. We have to mirror this on all of the other arms. Boom! This is the top part of the frame with the holes to mount the flight controller. Also, I added some hexagons to reduce the amount of plastics. I also added some holes to mount the DJI VTX and camera mount in the front. I really do hope it works this way. I placed it far enough so it's gonna record the arcs, but not in front enough so it's gonna take them into the camera and possibly destroy it. And lastly, we need some bottom cover to strap the battery in. And this seems to me ready enough to print. I didn't go with crazy duct geometries or anything. I kept it simple. Let's see if it prints nice. I have loaded the model into the Anycubic slicer and I have a nice selection of materials. And actually the bed is big enough that we can also print the bottom cover, even in a different material if we want, but I'm gonna print both in polycarbonate. And the nice thing about this printer is that it's connected to the internet. Wherever you are, you can send the print files straight to it from your computer, but even from the phone app. I'm gonna activate bed leveling before starting, AI detection, so if something goes wrong, the printer is gonna stop. And I'm also gonna record a nice time lapse for the video. And you can also dry the filament while it's printing, which is pretty neat. And before I start printing, let's talk a little bit about the specs of the printer. I have to say I've been pretty impressed with the unboxing and setup of this machine, because first of all, it's of course very well packaged, but most importantly, it's all pre-assembled. You don't need to do anything. If you get the combo version, you get the Ace 2 Pro inside the machine. You just open it, take it out, put it up, connect a couple of wires. The first time you turn it on, it does an auto calibration thing, but in like 20 minutes you go from boxed to printing. It's super quick, very easy. The printer is quite big. I placed it behind my television, which is a 32-inch for reference. It looks super sleek and modern. The materials are great. You have a glass front panel and glass top hatch, which you can raise. The internal frame and back panel are made of metal, and these side covers are actually plastic, even if they look aluminum. The power cable and on-off button is at the back of the machine at the bottom. Right at the top you have a couple of connectors for the Ace 2 Pro and the filament feeding tube. They also provide a filament spool holder that goes right at the left side of the machine. In the front you have the LCD screen with touchscreen. It's tiltable and it's really useful to have. Also, it shows you what model you are printing. And it comes with a USB-A port at the top. The door opens toward the left side. This is the max opening you get. I wish it was reversible, so I would open this way. It's more comfortable for my situation, but it's no problem. You have a lot of insulating tape all around it, so air from the outside doesn't enter into the machine. The printing area of this machine is massive. You have 35 by 35 by 35 height, so you can really print big stuff. This printer uses a Core XY gantry, which makes it super fast. It can print up to 600 millimeters per second and accelerate up to 20,000. The bed Z-axis is moved by 3 linear actuators and 3 smooth rails, so it's super stable. The bed comes with this double-sided pay plate, which is magnetic, and it's super easy to slot back because it has 2 grooves. I did it one-handed. This machine reaches very high temps, so you can print hard materials like ASA, polycarbonate, no problem. The hotbed reaches 120 degrees Celsius, so filaments stick and you get a very nice first layer. The air inside the chamber is heated up by this heater right here, which reaches 65 degrees. And also very cool, up top you have this fan with an active carbon filter, so it removes any odor the machine creates. And the hot end is a direct drive. It opens super easily and it reaches 350 degrees, which is a lot. And you can change nozzle very easy. They are hardened steel nozzles. You just open it and boom, you can exchange it with a different size one. It also comes with model cooling fans left and right, and the same goes with the interior lighting. And at the right side you have a wide angle camera, which you can use to monitor your printing from your phone or your computer when you are away. And also it has AI to auto-detect print failures. And this at the back is a very clever system to clean the nozzle. When the hot end arrives, this metal hook cleans it, and then it goes on to these silicone brushes to further clean it. And all of the discarded material comes out from the side. In combo with this machine you can get the Ace 2 Pro, which is very nice because it has, of course, 4 slots for 4 different filaments, either different materials or different colors. You can also hook up to 4, and you can get 16 different color printing inside the same machine. It has a rubber gasket all around it, so moist air doesn't enter and ruin your filaments. Also, you can hear is actually working because it has an active dryer inside it that reaches 65 degrees. So when you close it, your filaments are nice, dry and toasty. This is the back. You get the connector to the printer, filament outputs and the power cord with the on-off switch, because it's actually pretty easy to detach and use other filaments external. This is my first time printing polycarbonate, and just look how good that first layer is. And boom, everything is printed. I already cleaned the support material. It fits together nicely and it looks like it will be able to fly. Time to transfer the electronics into it. The motor wires are a little bit too short, so I will need to put some extensions. For this drone I'm gonna use a DJI O4 Lite because it's less expensive and I don't want a O4 Pro to be zapped by the Tesla Coil. Also because it's very slim inside here, so the O4 doesn't fit. I'm gonna use this wide angle adapter so at least we get a little bit wider field of view. Everything is wired up and it's time to close it. I put the battery strap on the bottom and I realized I made a mistake because the 6060 fits no problem here, but it's a little bit too tall and it hits the back spoke right here. So for now I'm just gonna freehand it like this, otherwise it does not close. Okay, I guess it's enough screws. And boom, everything is ready for the first flight test. I'm gonna go without the Tesla coil first, just to see if it flies. But I'm going to take off from the ground without goggles first. Let's see if it even flies. Oh my god, acro. Wow. Okay, maybe the whole gyroscope is messed up. And the gyroscope was upside down, so I just turned it 180 degrees roll and it should fly now. Okay, it flies. Let's see if he can lift the whole weight of the Tesla coil. I have placed a couple of mounting holes right where the ones of the Tesla coil are. And boom! Wish me luck. Wow! It's not one of the best flying drones I ever flown, but I feel like it's impressive to be carrying 1 kilo of payload with these little propellers and motors. Of course, you're gonna hover at 50% throttle. The battery is not super happy, but it flies. So I guess like I'm just gonna find a way to remote trigger it. It seems that very easily the trigger is just a switch. When you press it, it fires, but also the plastic of the handle is metal plated because your body acts as a ground. So this thing seems to have to be grounded because if I fire it while it's in the air, it's not grounded. Maybe I'm gonna attach a kind of long wire sticking from the bottom to this so we have a little bit more grounding in the air. And in order to remote fire, I'm gonna try hooking this to an electromagnetic switch made for Arduino, but it should communicate somehow with the flight controller of the drone. When I press a switch on my radio, this thing activates, it bridges these 2 points, and theoretically it should act as the same thing as the finger closing this connection. I'm gonna try and see if it works. And as you can see from outdoors, it's actually nighttime, 11 p.m. I have spent so many hours trying to make this thing work. I still have an headache. And boom, I finally made it. I have connected the relay to the Tesla coil and it's activated by a switch on my radio. Look, I press it. Boom. This thing is menacing now. Look at the arcs. I found that if I put a wire and it's grounded, the arc is much bigger. And this thing is gonna be free floating from the drone. I hope it still works even without being on something connected to the ground. But look at these arcs. Boom. And now I just have to assemble it all together and see how it flies. I've tried wrapping some aluminum tape all around the camera to act as a Faraday cage, but it doesn't work. Actually, the spark strikes the camera directly and it's even worse somehow. What I'm thinking is that probably the camera is just too close to the coil and is getting EMP'd. So what I'm gonna try doing is raise the Tesla coil a little bit so we have more distance, and luckily it doesn't EMPs anymore. This is kind of the best I could come up with. I put a little bit of styrofoam on the bottom so we have a little bit of an angle and some distance between the camera and the coil. Gonna turn it on and I pray that it works. Okay, still a little bit of interference, but it's working. Nice. We got it, it's ready to fly. Finally, it's time to properly test it, flying and shooting arcs. I don't fully trust it because I've seen that signal can be EMP'd, so I'm gonna fly over the grass. I also put a longer antenna on the bottom, so it's dangling and is as far as possible from the Tesla coil. So let's turn it on. It's a little bit janky. Turning on the Tesla coil. Okay, it's fully flying. Boom! Oh no! Oh no! The camera signal went away still, but at least we got a little bit of flying going on. Okay, we got the signal back. Let's try flying again. I have to be very careful because I don't want the drone to drop. And also it's not recording very well because every time I shoot the Tesla coil it stops recording. I am EMPing my camera, it looks like. Also you may notice that the sparks are much bigger when this ground wire is touching the ground. As soon as I lift the drone up, they become much smaller. I don't know how to prevent this. I don't want the drone to be carrying a very long wire to be always grounded. And that's all for today. I'm super happy this thing flies and shoots arcs, but I feel like before trying any EMPing other stuff, I need to fix the fact that it's EMPing itself, and this camera is not usable. It's freezing constantly and really is really sketchy to fly. So if you have ideas, please help me. I want to make an updated video. I need to fix this issue first, also how to improve this situation right here, and then I'm gonna try this thing against other objects because I'm very curious on what it can do. If you have ideas on how to make the arcs longer or to modify, to create something, I am very curious because I'm pretty ignorant on this electronic stuff and just eyeballing stuff, but still I am pretty excited with the result. Thanks again to Anycubic for sponsoring this video and allowing me to express my creativity. If you're interested about the Kobra S1 Max combo, check out the links in the description down below, because clicking on them you help this channel a lot, and many times you also get discounts. Thank you so much, stay safe and happy, I don't know what this is, shooting arcs from a drone. Bye!